Hi students, these are your 2.3 notes on savings plans. And I really hope you look through the text to look at more examples, and they actually give you a formula for you to solve these by hand. But I'm not going to require you to look up any terminology for this section. So there's two things we're going to talk about. A savings plan, okay, like how much will we have at the end of so long if we save, and versus how much should we deposit in order to have a certain amount. So, a savings plans, we want to use the future value formula. And we've been using this for a little bit. And this is, remember, it prompts us with rate, NPR, payment, PV, and then either, it depends on if you're using Excel, it says type, or if you're using Google Sheets, it says end or beginning. So remember with this one, we don't have to use this. It's, that's more of accounting than this class. So up until this point, this piece, our payment has been 0, okay? So that might change for us for our savings plans. So let's see. Let's do example 1. You want to save $100 per month at an annual rate of 8%. How much will you have in 15 years? So again, playing off of our last section, that's my indicator for FV as well, is because how much do I want in the future? So I have FV. I have an annual rate of 0.08, and I'm making this deposit monthly, so that's why I'm dividing by 12. Then my NPR, my number of periods, is I'm doing it monthly, so 12, and I'm doing it for 15 years. Now here's the difference from the previous lesson. Remember, we would only give 100 deposit into the account and walk away and never touch it again. But here we're making monthly deposits of 100. So that is why my payment is 100. Whereas my present value is 0. Okay, so does that make sense? So those two things have been swapped since the last section. So make sure you're paying attention to this. And if I do this in good old Google Sheets, equals FV, my rate 0.08, I'm going to divide it by 12, comma, I'm doing it monthly for 15 years. My payment amount is 100, but I'm starting with 0. And I end up getting, let's bring that down, $34,603.82. So make sure you give yourself units. So I will have $34,603.82. Maybe I should, after 15 years. Okay. How much money total did you actually put into the account? Well, every month you put in $100. You did it for every month for 15 years. So you can use your calculator, or the nice thing about Google Sheets is it's also a calculator. So I just put in equals. It was 100 times 12 times 15. Wow, so I put in 18,000 into this account. And I'm not going to make us write complete sentences for these. Okay, well now, how much total interest will you have earned? And we did this in the last section. So you take how much you earned total, and you subtract off what you actually put into the account. So again, I'm going to rely on my good old Google Sheets. Pull this up. It's going to be 34,603. 82 cents, and I'm going to take away, you can either write 18,000 or select that cell, which is always so cool. And then I'm going to enter, and it's $16,603.82. Wow, that is a lot, right? So you put in 18,000 and you earned 16,000. So let's see what percent of the balance is in interest. So remember, percent, the definition of that is part divided by total. So for this, it's our interest earned over total earned. All right, so my interest is 16,603 divided by my total, which is 34,603.82 cents. So I'm going to go here. It is, well, the nice thing is you can either write it out. I'm going to select that cell, and I'm going to divide it by the total, which is 34,603.82 cents. And I get about 0.4798. So following our percent rules, our decimal rules with percentage, that's 47.98% of interest earned. Wow, that is a lot. I don't think that's easy to come by. That 8%, yeah, that doesn't really exist anymore, but it'd be really cool if it did. All right, let's try one more. B, it's time to start saving for retirement. So you are going to deposit $5,000, okay, just that one time. It's earning 4.5% APR. I have not mentioned this yet in this class. You probably have seen it in life. That is your annual percentage rate, okay? You're going to make regular weekly deposits of $50. So we want to know how much you'll save in 25 years. So again, this gives it away that you're going to use FV. Well, your rate is 0.045. You're making monthly deposits, so that's why you're dividing by 12. Let's see. Oh, forgive me. That's why I was a little lost, are actually making weekly deposits, right? So it's divided by 52. So then every week, which is 52 weeks in a year, and you're doing this for 25 years. Well, remember, this is the new piece in this section. Now you're making a deposit of 50, okay? Now here's another new piece. You currently, present value, have 5,000. Okay, so let me just compare that. I'm going to scoot this up to go to the last example. Here, I didn't have a present value, right? I was only making these monthly deposits. Whereas here, you make this deposit once, but you make $50 payment every week. So hopefully you can see the difference. So relying on Google Sheets equals FV, my rate, 0.045 divided by 52, because I did it weekly. There's 52 weeks in a year, and we're doing this for 25 years. I make weekly deposits of $50, and I start with 5,000. So I will end up with $135,497.34. So I will have $135,497.34 after 25 years. All right. Now, let's see. Hopefully that didn't go out. I'm not sure. Okay, how much total money will you put into your account? Okay, so remember, this is you put in the 5,000 one time, but then you put in 50 for every week for 25 years. All right, relying on this guy. Let's pull him up so you can actually see what I'm doing. Equals 5,000 plus 50 times every week times 25 years. Wow, so I put in $70,000 into this account. And again, I'm not going to make us write complete sentences for each one just because of time. All right, how much total interest? Okay, so remember, you take how much you earn at the end and take away how much you put into the account. All right, so equals 135,497.34. Take away, and you can either type it or I like to select cells to get you used to that because it's coming. So I get $65,497.34 I earned in interest. Wowza. So if you compare what you put in and what you earned in interest, you could see they're almost the same, right? So that's why you should realize that the percent of the balance's interest should be close to 50%. So let's see. So remember, it's part over total for percent. So my interest that we've earned is $65,497.34 over the total amount. And if I do that in my calculator, it will be equals, let's pull this guy up. So I could just select it, divide it by the total. Yeah, so it's about 0.48698. So about 48.7% is in interest. I wish I could find those accounts. Okay, we'll come back for deposits.